So this one and this one. Yeah, now I'm ready now. Yeah, everything. Yeah. Should I start directly?
Yeah, sure, sir. Participants are also joined. So,
Yeah,
good morning to Professor Anurag Srivastva, sir, and good morning to all the participants of 5th FIP, Mizoram University. On behalf of all participants, on behalf of HRDC and on behalf of the coordinator, I welcome Professor Anurag Srivastva, sir, for making a presentation on the topic, a journey of transition idea, incubation startup. So he is a professor in IIITM Gwalior, and he will be talking about incubation and startup today. So, sir, this FIP program is meant for new faculty members in different universities and colleges, and we are having some 28 participants here. Professor Manoj Kumar Verma, he is Deputy Director of HRDC and the coordinator of this course. And I am Professor Bhartendu Singh from Department of Commerce. I am co-coordinator of this course. So, sir, you may start the session. And one more thing to inform you, sir, the participants are not having access to audio and video. So they will be putting their question in chat box or Q&A box just below on the screen.
sure.
Towards the end of the session, I will put these questions to you. But I have to attend a meeting at 10:40. So still, I will try to come before 11:30 before ending the session. So now you can start, sir.
So do you think there will be someone, to coordinate from your side? Because if there is any issue comes, that
Yes. Someone from HRDC is there. So one representative from HRDC is there, Uchraya. So you simply ask and they will help. But I will be here, sir. I will be here and I will be carrying my mobile. So I will try to be in touch.
Okay, good. Because can I see the participants as well?
No, you cannot see, sir. Audio, video, they don't have.
Oh, so even I cannot see that who are the participant here.
List you can see, sir, only, not faces.
Okay.
If you click on participants list, I think this list will come.
Okay.
So far, 21 have joined.
Yes, I can see because it's like a one-way communication.
It is, yes. They can only text you in the chat box.
Okay, so so whether they are listening me or not, how to do?
They give their responses, sir. So by that only we understand they are listening.
People have said good morning, so let me just ask them whether they are listening me or not. So
yes, sir, listening. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. Yeah, people are listening me.
Yes.
Very good. Okay. So let me just start. So thanks to Professor Singh and Professor Verma. And so this is first time I'm interacting with the people from Mizoram University, and our association with Manoj is very long. When Manoj was a student in Guru Ghasidas University, Bilaspur. So it's a long association with Manoj. So thanks to Manoj basically, and of course Professor Singh as well, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to interact with the new entrants in the faculty community basically, and who have joined. And I don't know what discipline they have joined, and I just feel that they must have they must be from different backgrounds. And when I was interacting with Manoj, I thought of which area I should take up for this briefing, because it's a mixed audience. And if it is a mixed audience, so I thought of there is a buzz area these days is basically talking about incubation and startups. And for the last 11 to 12 years, I'm more in this business basically. And so far, I have nurtured more than 22 startups in different sectors, and receive funding from different funding agencies like Ministry of Information Technology, MSME, and other sectors. And this institute is basically institute from Ministry of HRD or Ministry of Education, you say. Okay. And Professor Singh has already introduced me. So my job will be basically to talk about what innovation is, how to talk about innovation, and how to translate the idea basically into some kind of incubation in different centers decided by the government or local bodies, and translating them into some kind of a startups. And that's the ultimate aim. And for that, during this journey of translating idea into a startup, basically, what is the key? Basically, the key is innovation. And until unless you don't have the innovative idea in your mind, and there is no need of or there are a lot of questions maybe arises when you are thinking about converting this idea into some kind of a startup. Okay. And when people are talking about, especially the government is talking about a self-reliant India. So the self-reliant India concept or the mission cannot be possible until unless you don't think about having the innovative ideas and translating them into some kind of a startup. It is not only when I'm saying that idea should come from the people who are doing research. Idea may come from even a kid who is studying in school, right? Even school going children can also give you give an idea. And the role of faculty is going to be very, very important. It is not only the faculty, but people who are sitting in various incubation centers, and their role has become very, very important. So let me just talk about this. Before talking about actual, the topic basically, let me just introduce my institute. This, as I said, this institute is from Ministry of Education and Government of India Institute, and specifically dedicated in the area of IT and management education. And it is not very old institute. We are just celebrating 25 years of its foundation. And Gwalior is very, very well known place for great Tansen, a Hindustani classical music composer, Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, and many politicians basically, right? You can include the current aviation minister, Mr. Sindhia, and also your late Prime Minister, Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And it has a vision of excellence through collaborative research in contemporary areas, having relevance to application domains for promoting technology as a business model. So that's very important. So whatever the technology we talk about, we always think of how to translate this technology into some kind of a business model, and it should reach to the masses in some form. And if you talk about the total strength in the campus has increased to 1400 about, and we have different courses of integrated courses in postgraduate program in IT and management, and we also have lateral entry program management in MBA and MTech program, and we also have the PhD program with more than 30 faculties members in the campus. Besides talking about this, my own area, I'm basically a nanotechnologist, and I'm more involved in computational modeling of the materials as well as devices, and a variety of domains I'm working on. We are focusing on energy devices, nanoelectronic devices, variety of sensors that includes the water and air pollution sensors, and recently started working on biosensors that includes the cancer cell detection and diabetic diagnosis, and also fruits and vegetable rotting. Okay, these are the areas. Now, if you talk about the few facts, with more than 1.3 billion people living in this country and a rapidly growing economy, India is considered to be a key country for the startups who are getting engaged with the massive funds to grab a share of the market. And India is a battleground for companies aiming to explosive growth and establishing themselves in an upcoming global tech leader in the long run. So whatever is happening, in the tech world, everybody knows these days, what is happening in the tech world. The Indian startups ecosystem originated with software services startups serving an Indian software needs and later expanding to exporting software services. Do you think it is sufficient? this information is sufficient. There are many things that need to be done at various levels. And of course, as a academician, there is a lot of things that need to be done, because we are nurturing those students who may become sometime, the very good starters who are entrepreneurs. The government is also pushing a lot, right? That instead of asking the students to go for the placement, so we need to promote them to go for the startups or entrepreneurship. Instead of becoming the job seekers, we should make them to become the job givers. Okay, so that's very, very important. And if you talk about, various India's unicorns, especially in the startups, there are a lot of, especially in the last 3 years, when the worst period we have seen, in the Corona period, we have seen what happens to different industries, especially the highest valuation we have found as of April 2022, that, with the valuation of more than 1 billion or more in India. The companies like, the maximum share goes to the Byju's, the e-education. The education sector has suffered a lot, and a lot of, companies they have come up, and especially the Byju's have, made a lot of money on that. And another business was basically related with the, the providing the foods to the people or the common man. And in that, Swiggy and Zomato has entered in that market, right? And Swiggy has, earned a lot of money after that. Oyo, Dream11, Razorpay, Ola Cabs, even Paytm. These many companies, they have emerged in a nice form, and they have grabbed a lot of money out of that. Okay, there are many other companies, of course, because people were sitting at home, so they were interested in playing the games and all that, because they were not allowed to go out of their home, and so of course there are many other gaming companies also they come up. Okay, if you talk about the greatest engineering achievement of the 20th century, I'm coming to just taking you back, and so that you can just think of, how the revolution take place. And a lot of, the revolution, and a lot of, glorified things happened during the 20th century. And whatever you talk about these days is basically has been emerged during the 20th century. When you talk about electrification, you talk about automobile industry, you talk about airplanes, you talk about water supply and distribution, you talk about whatever the electronics right now these days, right? And we have moved from silicon electronics to the carbon electronics these days. And we talk about radio and television, a lot of, happenings we have seen. Agriculture sector also has boomed a lot. Computers have come up during that time, and telephony, air conditioning, refrigeration, whatever the area you talk about, right? It is not only the electronics or IT sector, basically, right? Highways, spacecrafts, internet, imaging, household appliances, health sector, many sectors. The 20th century is considered to be the, very important century, so far, where a lot of development took place, especially the technological development. Okay, and for that, National Academy of Engineering, basically, they have listed out few grand challenges for engineering sector. Those faculties who are in the engineering sector, they understand this very well, and those who are in the science discipline, they also understand very well that, there are a lot of sector that the sectors have been identified by the National Academy of Engineering. And like, for example, advanced personalized learning, enhanced virtual reality, engineer better medicine, in the sense that because the computational tools have been developed a lot, it is not only that people are directly going to the laboratory and they start developing the medicines. So restore and improve the urban infrastructure. A lot of improvement we have seen in the last few years. Basically, the urban infrastructure have been improved a lot, and provide access to clean water to the people, to the common man, and manage the nitrogen cycle is very, very important to keep the balance in the environment. Development of carbon sequestration method, prevent nuclear terror, make solar energy economical, reverse engineer the brain, advanced health informatics. Lot of, development took place in the health sector also. So it is not only people are talking about the developing the instrument for the diagnosis and for the treatment or for the surgery, but also a lot of data has been generated in the health sector, and the data analytics parts has become very, very important. So people have emerged, if people have thought of starting a new area, it is called as a health informatics. Okay, And cyberspace is a very, very important sector. We have realized in the last 1 decade, and securing the cyberspace is a very big challenge. Okay, because a lot of data is there, and that's why we are thinking of these days cyber war and all that. Provide energy from fusion, engineer the tools for scientific discovery. So lot many areas have been identified by the National Academy of Engineering. And this is what I just thought of listing those areas specifically. Okay, so I'll not go in detail of these areas specifically, just to skip the slides. But coming to this ideation part, what actually ideation basically means and how to prepare for ideation session. Ideation is nothing but it is about exploring the possibilities, generating new concepts, and discovering new opportunities, whatever discipline you talk about. It is a creative process of generating, developing, and communicating new ideas. So new idea doesn't mean always that something should be very unique, right? And nobody has talked about earlier this thing that can be considered as new idea. You can come up with an idea which is basically the old idea, taken from the old idea, but it is in the polished form, which has some different kind of umbrella. Okay, so where an idea is understood as a basic element of thought, and that can be either a visual, it can be concrete, or it can be some kind of abstract. Okay, but one step need to be um, forwarded and with the innovative process. Okay, now if you talk about the business incubation process, normally if you have an idea, where to go with this particular idea, who are the people who are going to help you, who are going to shape this idea into some kind of a technology, some kind of a product, and that technology or product can be get translated into some kind of a entrepreneurial activity, or some kind of a startup, so that you can start earning through that particular business. For that, the very first step is basically you should target the market, that this idea is of use for someone. But who are the people for whom you are going to develop this product? Who are the users? So end users identification is very, very important. And how many end users? That is also very important. Okay, so target market is very, very important, and that basically we call it as a pre-incubation period. Okay, we call it as a pre-incubation period, and in any incubation center, basically pre-incubation period. And then once we believe that the idea is worth and it is marketable, and there is a demand, possibility of the demand of this particular idea in the market, and the product you will be developed getting translated into this from this idea, okay, that will be useful for the society or the common man. Yes, that can be considered under pre-incubation, and we can provide some kind of training, right? Training, we can polish this business idea into some kind of a business advice can be given. What you need basically to translate this idea into some kind of product or some kind of a the services, of course you need financial support for that. Okay, so that is also normally these days provided by the incubation centers, financial support. And also you need some kind of a mentors, because you are not expert, you are simply you are having an idea. You may be person from arts background, you may be person from humanities or other background, but the idea is worth, right? And how to get translated into some kind of a technology, some kind of a product, right? You need technical experts for that. So incubation centers, they also provide mentoring in technical, they also provide technical mentors, right? So they give you business advice, they give you legal advice, they give you legal support, they give you financial support, and also they give you technological support, the technical mentors. So this complete is under one umbrella, basically under one roof, basically. And those are basically called as incubation centers, located in different parts of the country. It's normally, especially these days, in very centrally funded institutes these days. And then, of course, there is a exit criteria. It's a 6 month, 3 months, or 1 year, depending upon what kind of idea, what kind of the startup you are. Okay, which area. So depending upon that, if it is a IT based, if it is a biotechnology based, or if it is something else, depends upon that. Incubation period normally get decided. So normally it starts with minimum 3 months and maximum up to 1 year or 1.5 year, maximum 1.5 year. Okay, so normally up to that period, government or the particular incubation center is ready to invest in you. Okay, and once you come out of this particular incubation center, we call you as a graduate. Okay, like for example, you are completing your degree, you call it as a graduate. So here also, it's your incubation period is over. We call you as a graduate coming from that incubation center. Okay, but it doesn't mean only that we leave you in the market. Okay, there is a hand holding once again, because to scale up this particular technology and the product you have developed, right, and scaling your own business, basically you need hand holding and support from the venture capitalist. A lot of funding will be needed. Okay, so incubation center these days, they also provide you basically the venture capitalist and angel investors. So the huge investment is needed in that, in many cases. Okay, in many companies, startups, you need huge funding in crores, basically. Okay, 50 crores or 100 crores. So of course, you alone cannot invest that much money. Even the bankers will not support you in that with that much money. So how to do that? So there are angel investors. There are the venture capitalists listed by the government of India, and you can choose any one of them, and they will select your idea and the product. They will see that product and the viability of the product and marketability of the product, and on the basis of that, they normally there are of course different models how to support you, basically. Okay, depending upon, so whether they go with the share model, they go with the equity in the company, many ways they used to. So this is the definition of this incubation is nothing but it's a process of keeping something at the right temperature and under the right conditions so it can develop. Okay, and when a mother bird sits on her eggs until they are ready to hatch. So this idea of incubation has come from that background, basically. Okay, but nowadays this has become popular, right? That in the business world, that incubation means what? But for this incubation, what is needed basically is very important word. We call it as innovation. Until unless your idea is not innovative enough, nobody is going to support you, right? Nobody is going to help you out in investing in you. Okay. When I'm saying investing means I'm just talking about not only the time investment but also the money investment. Okay. Why it is so important? What are the various types of innovation are, and how to talk about the degree of innovation? That's very important. Normally, there are various definitions people have talked about. If you go in the literature, people have given various definitions of innovation. So hundreds of similar definitions, right, can be found in the literature. And one definition is very popular, is innovation is nothing but it's a profitable implementation of the ideas. So the word which is important here is the profitable. Now again, it's a big umbrella. How to define profitable? Each one of you will have different understanding of profit, right? Somebody will be interested. Profit means basically the money should come. Some people talk about knowledge should come. Some people are something should all, so networking, big networking should come. So how to understand this profit is very important, right? So whatever the idea you have, whenever you are implementing those ideas, you should earn the profit out of that. Okay. So innovation is nothing but it's kind of a profitable implementation of your ideas. So there is a broad American perspective of this particular word innovation. They said implementing new ideas that create value. Okay. So until unless there is no value addition, right? There is no value of that, there's no meaning of implementing those new ideas. And then they have also defined somewhere in National Innovation Initiative document, they mentioned the intersection of invention and insight. The intersection of invention and insight leading to the creation of social and economic value. So they have, basically, sorry, expanded the earlier definition reported in Innovative Network USA report. And here they talk about intersection of invention and insight, and that leads to some kind of creation in social and economic value. So they categorize this creating value into social and economic value. Okay. So the society must accept your idea, and also it should be marketable so that you can earn out of that. And that's the reason they have talked about social and economic value. So this innovation can increase your profit on the value side. And when I'm saying value side, basically I'm talking about customers' value and innovation enough to pay more for it. Okay. Or another side is the cost side. The company produces the product offering in a more efficient way, but whether you talk about the value side or you talk about the cost side, either way, value is created for the firm and the customer and the consumer. And of course, ultimately, we are interested in earning the money out of that. So there are various essential ingredients of when you talk about this innovation word or innovation ecosystem. So the things which are important here are, like, for example, trust, the curiosity, tolerance of diversity, especially if you talk about Indian context, diversity is very, very important, right? So we have different languages in different states, right? The environment is different, right? Mindset of the people is different. So whenever you are developing a product, whether it will be accepted by the people who are located somewhere in Delhi, and the same product will be accepted by the people who are located in Tamil Nadu, right? So likewise, that if you are moved from north to south or east to west, that the diversity can be visible, right? So the tolerance of diversity is very, very important. You have to be very careful when you are, thinking of nurturing yourself as an entrepreneur, as a startup. Okay. Okay. I can see a few questions here. Right. So as soon as I'll end, that I'll answer those questions. Don't worry. Dr. Prasanjit has, mentioned somewhere how to initiate an incubation center in an academic institution. I'll talk about that. Don't worry. Right. Yeah. Well, I'll go through this. And I can see a few questions here. Okay. Don't worry. Right. So as I said that, there are a few things which are very important. I started with trust, curiosity, tolerance, diversity, and the faith is also very important. Faith and confidence are, very similar words, right? You should have faith in yourself first. You should be confident enough, whatever you are doing, right? Unless you are not confident enough how to, lead that particular group you are working with. Okay. Lack of fear, and you should have a will to make the world a better place to live and track this status quo and take risk and fail. Okay. So learning from the failure is very, very important during the startup journey. It's very, very important. It will happen. Normally, I'm sure that those who are attending this session, they are PhDs, right? They are doctoral. They already have earned the doctoral degree, right? During this process of earning the doctoral degree, many times you might have got failed. That company, the research you have started with, somehow you decided you will work on one topic, and you realize after a few months or 3 months or 6 months, oh, this is not your cup of tea. I should not go in this particular domain. I should stop this and select this different topic, right? Or many times you kept on, repeating the same experiment. Then finally, after 4 or 5 experiments, you have achieved, you have got your expected result. So this might have happened, but during this course of failure, you have learned so many things. So that's very, very important. So there is no shortage of ideas and invention in this world, basically. And the challenge is to introduce these successfully to the market. So many people, they have the ideas, but who are the people who are having this courage to bring these ideas into market? That's very important. So only then, whenever you bring this idea into market, only then this particular idea or invention be called as innovation. Until unless if you are keeping with yourself, who knows that it is innovation, right? So many times you must have heard a word called jugaad, right? Jugaad is a very, very common word in Hindi belt, basically. We call it a jugaad. So jugaad is normally, it is also called kind of innovation. Jugaad is also innovation. But this innovation was done for solve one particular problem I am facing or you are facing, right? But that jugaad can be translated into innovation when it is useful for the masses, right? So we have to bring it to the the common man or to the society. In other words, innovation requires interplay between a product offering, that is basically I'm talking about the technology, and the people and the market, basically, right? So whatever the innovation or the idea or the product or services we are talking about, we should offer this particular product or service in terms of the technology, and that to the common man. Okay. So basically, when we talk about innovation, we need to be very careful about few things, that we are talking about something hard science, right? When we are dealing with the product, right? Some kind of a technology, right? Or some kind of a services, But whenever we are bringing it to the market, the acceptance by the people is very, very important. Whether the people for whom you have developed it, they are going to accept your technology or not. So the acceptability is very, very how people basically react to your particular product, right? So hard science as well as social science will all go together. Okay, whenever you're trying to make yourself as a startup, as an entrepreneur. So this word innovation is very, very important in the sense that it reduces many times waste, it reduces the environmental damage. Innovation creates growth, increases the productivity and economic wealth. And innovation provides better goods and services at a cheaper price, higher standard of living. So what matters a lot for the common man is basically the cost, right? Cheaper price, especially not only in Indian context, but if you move out to any place in the world, people are interested in the low cost product, right? But at the same time, they want higher standard, right? Okay, so they need good technology with high performance, but they are not interested to pay heavy cost of that. Okay, so what are the various types of innovation? Various types of innovations are possible. You can label in many ways, but few are like, for example, innovation can be in product, it can be in process, innovation can be in services, it can be a business model, innovation can be some kind of a different value addition to the existing product, and also you can talk about the innovation in the market. Okay, so of course, not many terms can be possible to be added, to get added to this right list, but I have specifically mentioned because in the last 10 to 15 years, my experience says that mostly people are talking about product and product, process and services, right? And of course, business model is one. And many more, depending on the level of details. Basically, innovation can occur anywhere in the firm's business by anyone. We all have great potential that we must realize. And in the one of the slide I have said, you should have faith, you should have confidence in yourself. That's very important. There are few words which are very similar to this innovation, and people should not get confused with that, right? It's very important. This is what called invention, right? So you should not get confused that innovation basically something means if it is not invention, it is not innovation. Innovation is a very, very big umbrella. If you have invented something means it's a completely new product, completely new service, or completely new process. It can be called as a invention. It comes under the category of innovation. If extension of something can also be called as innovation. If you have got one product or one particular services and it had been extended to someone else, the innovation. Even duplication or replication of something, when you are creating a replication of an existing concept or an existing product, but it is cheap in the cost, with high performance, right? Though it is a duplication, but we can consider this also under the umbrella of innovation. Even hybrid concept can also be considered. So we call it as in scientific language, we call it as a synthesis. Combination of existing concept and the factors into a new formulation or use. That can be called as a synthesis, and that also comes under the umbrella of the innovation. But at the same time, there are a lot of myths, major myths, innovation myths in the market. When people talk about this buzzword innovation, they believe that innovation is planned and predictable. No, it is not planned and predictable, right? Tactical specifications should be thoroughly prepared. No, it is not always true. Creativity relies on dreams and blue sky ideas. Even this is also not true. Even for the smaller things, all of a sudden you have got one idea clipped and you can start working on that, looking at one particular situation. Big projects will develop better innovation than a smaller. No, I can give you just one example. I'm lucky that in National Innovation Fair, my 4 or 5 products got selected, and for 5 years continuously, I visited the Rashtrapati Bhavan, and I could see there was one in 2000, I think 14 or 15. Yes, I remember 15. There was one a small girl, and it was a story. I think she was studying in sixth standard from Himachal somewhere, and that girl faces a problem. She was a short height girl, and whenever she used to visit her school, and normally you must have seen that there are the tanks provided by the schools, and they have various taps coming out of that tank, right, to for the drinking water, and they are aligned in one line, right? You must have seen, right? And the height of that tap is little bit high. I build it by. So this girl need to use some kind of a tool, a stool, or somewhere some stone, so that she can reach to this outlet of that the water tank basically. So she faces this difficulty, and she went to principal of that school, and asked it to give a solution of this. So the principal scolded this girl. He said that, why don't you bring your water bottle with you? So we cannot modify this tank for you only. Anyway, so this girl couldn't stop herself, and she discussed with her brother, and she said that no, I discussed with my principal, and he scolded me, and but there are many girls and in the school who are short height girls, and they are facing this difficulty, and principal is not listening. So even her brother also said, okay, you why you are interacting with your principal? You tomorrow I will bring in water bottle for you. Bring this water bottle. But even this girl couldn't stop herself thinking about a solution. Then she discussed this problem with her teacher one day, and she said that I have one solution of this particular problem with a slight modification. With a slight modification, you can allow the short height girl, as meaning the taller people, can drink the water from that same tank. Okay. Only but the thing, you have to make a change, that instead of putting all the taps outlets in one line, basically you make it in a manner that with a shorter height, a little bit larger height likewise. Okay. And in a diagonal form. Okay. And the teacher liked this idea, and teacher somehow convinced the principal, and this idea got implemented. It looks that idea was very small, very small. It could have come to anybody, right? But nobody has thought of this problem, this particular solution. And this girl got awarded by the Rashtrapati ji. Okay, because this was an innovative idea. It doesn't mean that it always the big projects will develop better innovation than a smaller. And this particular idea was similarly. There are many examples I have with me. I have seen the people who have simply made a kind of a little jugaad, and this jugaad get converted into a big innovation. And many companies, they have invested in that. So technology is the driving force of innovation and the success. It is not always true. Even simple managerial solution. For example, in this particular case example I have given to you, there was no technology, right? It is simply management, right? Simple management. How that those taps have been arranged, so that even the people who are having a larger height and the people who are having a shorter height can drink the water. That was a simple solution, right? So it is not always required that you should have a bigger technology. Our technology can be considered as a driving force of having the innovation and success. So what is the what are the principle of innovation? So principle of innovation says you have to be action oriented always. Make your product, a process or service as simple as possible and understandable, so that even a common man who is not understanding the technology can understand your product. That's very important. Make the product, process or service customer based, right? The need of the customer, because your customer must be happy. If your customer is not satisfied, there is no need of talking about a new product or new process or new service. Ultimately your customers must be happy. For example, we as a teacher, we can call ourselves as an entrepreneur, right? How to call as an entrepreneur? We are always thinking about that our class should be good, Who should be happy? Our student must be happy. So our customers are basically our student. If they are not happy, there's no meaning of conducting any class, right? What is our role? Who can be called as the best teacher? So best teacher is basically those who are not those people who are giving good marks to the student. Best teachers are those, for them, for those people, students are lined up. They are standing, but they are interested in attending our classes. That's very important. So if your customers are happy, you will be sellable. So we have to put ourselves in the market in a sense. So make the product, process, or service customer based. You can start with a small, but your aim should be very high, and you keep on trying, you keep on testing yourself. Yourself basically means your product, your process, and services, and keep revising yourself, right? And learn from failures, as I have said already. The very important ingredient for a startup is basically you should learn from your failures. You should not get disheartened, right? In a startup business, because that's the reason, those who have done the real research, experimental research, I am sure, pretty sure, they might have got failed many times doing the research. They got fed up. They must have thought of leaving this idea of, completing this doctoral program. Those who have done real research, I'm talking about those people, right? Follow a milestone schedule. That's very important. Those from computer science or IT background, I'm sure they understand various period, understand this very well. Gantt chart and the per diagram, right? That's very important. Period versus activity chart, you should decide. And reward heroic activities in your group. That's very important. Those who have contributed, you should appreciate those people. And there is no substitute of work and work. Okay. So these are the basic principles of innovation. Variety of innovations are possible. I have said it can be product, process, or market, or people, or the business model, the position. Many times things are possible. Types of innovation, and these innovation can be disruptive. Disruptive in the sense they grow with the market. It can be incremental, or it can be a simple, general, or a lateral way of improving. So I'm not going into detail of this. This innovation can be basic innovation. It can be a systematic innovation. So normally when people think of innovation, the first thing that comes to their mind is product innovation. They don't think about even a service can be considered as innovation. Services these days, what government is pushing a lot, even they have improvised their services, digitizing the complete scenario. So it is all basically, it is not product which is coming, it is basically services. And in systematic, there are actual 10 different types of innovation. The more types of types you incorporate, the more successful your innovation is likely to be. It can be in process, it can be in offering, it can be in delivery, it can be in finance. Many areas are possible. Okay. So many examples are there. I can take one example of when Dell entered in the market. Before Dell entered in the market, that the market was completely captured by HP, right? Especially in the PC machines. It was captured, handled by HP only. What strategy Dell has followed? Simply, Dell has followed one strategy. They have read they have made a survey that what customer basically needs, and the basic need of the customer is basically services. After buying the product, who are the best people who are providing services? So instead of repairing, they introduce the concept of we are not going to repair your product, we are going to replace your product. And that simple thing had made the journey of Dell much easier, and they become a big competitor of HP in the market. Just by simply replacing the word from repairing to replacing. So we'll replace your product. Okay. So up to 3 years or 2 years. So this is how Dell has entered in the market. There are many such examples. I'm not going to talk about those things, but I just took one example. Okay. Now, when you talk about the degree of innovation, that's very important. It depends upon the product, depends on the service. Once again, many labels are there. However, they all describe the degree of change required by the innovation firm and or the market, right? And it can be incremental, sometimes it is called continuous, sometimes it is evolutionary, or even smaller, or sometimes it is not incremental, it is radical. It is called discontinuous or revolutionary or a big one. So incremental and radical innovations need to be managed differently. That's very, very important. But it's a different kind of topic. We can talk later on this. Right? It's a very, very different area. Innovation and entrepreneurship are two words which are interrelated with each other. As I have already described innovation in a big way. A lot of definition I talked about innovation, types of innovation I talked about, whether product and services, then many things within the innovation that's very important. But innovation is considered to be the key function in the entrepreneurial process. Because slowly I'm moving towards what? Translating the idea into some kind of innovation, incubation, and then incubation to a startup journey, right? So in this startup journey, basically entrepreneurship word is very, very important, right? And for that, to become an entrepreneur, of course, innovation is very much needed because market is very, very competitive. Innovation is a process by which entrepreneurs convert the opportunities into the marketable ideas. So many times, if you want to become a very good entrepreneur, you have to think about the ideas or the problems of the society, the problems of the community, and bring out a solution which you feel that has not been given by someone, and you feel that this will be marketable. Innovation is more than just a good idea. Entrepreneurs blend creative thinking with the systematic and logical process ability. That's very important. So entrepreneurship, again, a very, very big umbrella. Whereas innovation is a big umbrella, entrepreneurship is also very, very big umbrella. If you have both things all together, you can call yourself as a very good startup later stages. But the word in that earlier slide you have seen, the word creative thinking is very, very important. So this again is somehow getting translated into some kind of innovation. So creativity is the generation of ideas that results in the improved efficiency or effectiveness of a system. So when I'm talking about a system, it talks about the product, it talks about the process, it talks about various models basically. So system is again a very, very big umbrella, very big umbrella. It can be a simple software can also be considered as a system, right? So those who are from computer science background, they must have studied one subject called systems analysis and design, or they must have studied software engineering course, right? They understand what basically system is. But ultimately, the performance of system is very, very important. So if you have some kind of idea so that you can improvise the efficiency or effectiveness or overall performance of the system, that's very, very important. Two important aspects of creativity are process and people, right? So creativity includes process and it also talks about the people, because ultimately who is going to accept your technology, who is going to accept your model, right? Who are the people who are going to react on your product and services? The people. And that's very important during when we teach normally systems analysis design. We teach the student there are three things which are important for a systems analyst or business analyst. One, which is important here, is the understanding of the technology. Another thing, the managerial expertise or managerial, the rules and regulations, right, or the practices. And the third thing, which is important here, is knowledge about the people. So people thinking is very, very important, because, for example, if you entered in in an organization and you are supposed to give a solution to a particular problem, and you are a new person to that particular organization, how to do that job, how to give the solution. But to give the solution, you should understand the problem first. How to understand the problem? Until and unless people of the organization are not going to provide the right data, it is very difficult for you to understand the problem. Once you understand the problem, right, you have to make the people ready that you are not going to cheat their data, you are not going to manipulate the data or they misuse the data what they are going to give you, right? And then what kind of solution you are going to give them is going to help them. You have to convince them. So because ultimately they are the people who are going to use your technology or the product or the services, right? So people think is very, very important how they react, how they understand you, right? And why they should give you that particular data, and why they should accept the new solution, because they are already using one solution. So they are used to of their solution. You might be knowing that one example of IRCTC. When IRCTC entered in the market, people were not skilled enough to use these the desktop machines, right? And later on, there are many things happen. Now people are used to, they even on through the mobile apps, they can book their tickets. But earlier, that people have to make a queue on the railway stations, and there are servers down many times. Many things happen. So this way, there are a lot of technological development took place, and people importance, people role of the people is very, very important, right? Now you have the idea, you have other people, there are people who are going to help you out, but ultimately, what is important here? The important thing is here is the financial support. If you don't get the financial support these days, you may not be able to develop this product or develop you translate this idea into some kind of product or services, whether it is IT based idea, or any other idea which needs some lot of manufacturing in that. So you need venture capitalists, angel investors. They are ready to pay you, invest a huge amount. Even these days, government is also providing a lot of support, and NGOs are there, so they are ready to support you, financial support. So there is no dearth of financial support. Only the problem is that people are not coming up. They are having their ideas, they are shy, and they feel that if I'll give you this idea, the people may laugh on us, right? Let them laugh. But if it is found worth, who knows? You become the Bill Gates, or any other person who is millionaire these days. So likewise in tech, especially if you talk about the how many the investment took place in India in the last 3 years, basically. Venture capitalists, they have signed number of deals. So like for example, in 2020, they have signed about 214 deals with the $3.5 billion. In 2021, little bit enhancement to 25 deals with $5.7 billion. And in 2022, so far, up to April 2022, they have signed $10.5 billion and more than 300 deals. So the graph is exponentially increasing these days. Okay, so venture capitalists and angel investors are putting a lot of effort. They are ready to help you out. Okay. So now coming to this concept of ideas, in 2015, when your Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, he mentioned in his speech somewhere, I see startups, technology, and innovation as exciting and effective instrument for India's transformation. Right? He always talks about India's transformation, right? In manifold transformation. Take up one idea, make that one idea your life, think of it, dream of it, live on that idea, and let the brain, muscle, nerve, every part of your body be full of that particular idea, right? That you should feel that particular idea in yourself and just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success, right? If you want to become a startup, I think these things are very, very important. Very well said by Honorable Prime Minister of our country, Mr. Narendra Modi. If you are a startup, there are a few things you must remember, that how the government is going to help you out. That's very important. How to normally the incubation center, they consider yourself as a startup up to 5 years from its date of incorporation, registration. Okay, so the company should not be more than 5 year old. Okay, that's very important. Incorporated as either a private limited company, you can register as a private limited company, or it can be company registered under partnership firm or limited liability LLP mode. Okay, and your turnover for any fiscal year should not exceed more than 25 crore. You can be considered as a startup. If it is more than 25 crore, you will not be called as a startup. Entity should not have been formed, splitting up, or reconstruction a business already in existence. Okay, if you are already running a business and you are earning more than 25 crore, more than five years you have already spent, and now you want to split it and you want to make up, because there are a lot of advantages associated. Government has given a lot of benefit to the startups, especially in the income tax rebate, right? A lot of income tax rebate. Government is a lot of subsidy government is providing on raw material, that to the startups. Even in when you are participating in the tenders, right? A lot of relaxations are given. So you have to be careful about those things and working towards innovation, development, deployment, or commercialization of new product, process, or service driven by technology. These things are very, very important if you want to become a startup. Okay, so you have to check yourself. So whether you are really the startup or you are simply a businessman. Lot of good statistics about the India. We are fourth largest in this world in terms of the startup community. How it is growing? We are growing very fast, very fast. Okay, whatever technology we talk about, and there was a time when government of India has declared 2010 to 2020 as a decade of innovation, right? And a lot of things took place, but actual boom has taken place in 2014-15 basically. Okay. Lot of slides related to this. If you specifically found that about 73% founders are less than 36 years of age in startups. 48% have MNCs work experience. That's very important. They left the MNCs and they have started their own startups. 36% founders solely they are engineers. They are from this background, and out of that there are 6% women. This number has increased in 2020 more than 10%. Now many the females, they have entered in this startup business, right? So I have already said enough about the startup, I think, right? And entrepreneurship also I have talked about, right? So there are few characteristics of entrepreneurship. You should have ability to take risk. That's very important. Should be a risk-taking person. You should know what innovation basically means. You should be visionary enough, and you should have leadership quality in yourself. You should be open-minded. Open-minded in the sense that the always ideas should get welcome from any corner. That's very important. Even the peon of your organization, who is working in your organization, can give a very good idea, right? You should respect your even. You should be flexible enough. That's very important because you are growing, right? And know yourself. So the confidence in yourself, know your community, know your people. That's very important. Many statistics recently, I have taken from the the government side. Number of startups recognized by DPIIT goes up to 50,000 as on 3rd June 2021, and 10,000 startups added in just 180 days. Recognized startups have now spread across 623 districts. It is not only in the rural areas, urban areas. Startups have entered into the rural belts as well. Okay, that's very important. And each state and unity has at least one startup. That's very, very good sign. 16,000 startups being recognized in the year 2020-21. About 1.7 lakh jobs have been created by recognized startups in 20 to 21. Okay, and leadership teams of 45% startups have a woman entrepreneur. So that's very, very important, right? So these figures are very, very impressive, very impressive figures. And now the question arises how to start a company. If you have a technology, if you have got an idea, you must have a passion. You can start your own company, and there are chartered accountants. They can help you out. Company secretaries, they can help you out in starting your own company. Okay, so there is no problem in that. Okay, and even you can visit some incubation center nearby to you in any good institute. They can help you out how to start your own company. I've already said who can be called as a startup. So you have to be careful whether it is you are going to the private limited company or it is the company which is registered as a in partnership, right? So that's very important. Like there are myths about the innovation. There are myths about the entrepreneurship as well. The smartest and high achievable people can be called an entrepreneur. No, it is not true. Any individual can be entrepreneur. Born, not made. Risk-taking people have the charismas. People who are disciplined, even indisciplined people can be very good entrepreneur. People who cannot do the charismas, even those people can be very good entrepreneur. So these are again myths related to the entrepreneurship. and how to do the market segmentation is very, very important, right? Before actually entering in this business, a startup business or entrepreneurship business, please properly do a brainstorming session, right? Discussing your idea, discussing the market, right? With so many people, right? It may happen and during that time, people may cheat your idea, right? So please, you have to be very careful when you are doing the brainstorming, right? So until unless you don't understand the market, how can you develop the product and you feel that, your product, people are going to accept your product? Okay, you have to do that. All different opportunities you have to look into. Primary customer research, that's very, very important. Suppose you have developed product, who are going to first, buy your product. Developing products or services for whom, that's very important. The target market. Okay. From passion to the idea or technology, that's very important. For that, many things are needed. Of course, I listed down few things here. You should have knowledge, you have the capability, you should have connections, the networking with the people. Networking, I'm saying that people who can provide you financial support, who can provide you legal support, who can provide you technological support, and then financial assets from your side as well, and many times in your networking, right? Many other things are listed here. Okay. I've already said how to, open your own company, how to become the startups. Okay, of course, there are many ways. You can also visit the DPA, DIPPT site, and also you can visit the incubation center these days. They can help you out. Okay. To get the startup recognition under Startup India program, you just need to follow a few steps, right? The very first step, incorporate your business, register with the Startup India. There's a site, you can register yourself. Documents to be uploaded, there are a few documents listed there. You need to upload those documents. Answer whether you would like to avail tax benefit or not, and when you want to take the benefit, just after 3 years or after 5 years. Finally, you must self-certify that you satisfy the few conditions listed down there. Next step is immediately get recognition number, and other areas are of course there. There are these 7 steps. So either you get yourself registered through Startup India program, or you can also get registered yourself through Incubation Center these days. Okay. But ultimately, you have to get approval from DIPP. Your company is innovative enough, so recommendation letter from Incubation Center can also be given these days. So you need not to directly apply to DIPP site, but even Incubation Center can give you this. So a lot of benefits, exemption from capital gain tax, and many benefits are there for startups. I'll skip these slides here, and because I think how many minutes are left? 20 minutes. So within 15-20 minutes, I'll finish this talk, and I'll talk about what basically we have done so far in Technology Innovation Incubation Center at IIITM Gwalior. So we have nurtured so far more than 22 startups, more than 60 interns we have trained or made them skilled enough. We have generated more than 200 employment, and 26 mentors were working with us. And there are various partners in terms of the marketing and technology partners are with us, and we are here to translate center of IIITM Gwalior, of course. Jivaji University in Gwalior, they have also started incubation center. A smart city is also started incubation center. There is a Prestige Management Institute, they have started their center, and there is a Krishi Vishwavidyalaya here. They have also recently started incubation center with the help of NABARD. And our courses have also been designed in such a way so that many people, many students, they should think of making themselves as an entrepreneur. Okay. And we have added various courses in that, and there are official as well as unofficial mentors and faculty members are trained in entrepreneurship and various areas, like for example IoT, management, medical imaging, robotics, and nanotechnology are the niche areas of our institute. Basically, we are mostly focusing in these areas in entrepreneurship and helping the people. Various awards. I'm just not going to read out that particular list. And as I said, more than 22 entrepreneurs, that includes 3 women entrepreneurs. Out of that, 14 students from BTech program and 3 faculty, 3 innovators, grassroots innovators. I'm saying grassroots innovators. We could find out from the market who are having the jugars, and those jugars get translated into some kind of product or technology. 4 companies have been incubated as a marketing partner. 7 out of that, and up now it is number has increased. It is 9 have been graduated, 6 are in virtual incubation mode. And as I have said, we have collaborated with different institutions like DRD, Biotech Incubation Center, Smart City, Gwalior, and all that. Many products we have developed, and they are in the market. Okay, so these are few picks of our centers, right? And we have international collaborations as well for innovation incubation. And there's a group of Belgium, so they have visited us, they have collaborated with us. So this first picture, it talks about the same meeting we were conducting with the Belgium group. They were interested in tourism management. They wanted to develop some product in the tourism. Okay, and there is a person from Germany. So Vice Chancellor of Germany, she visited. She wanted to collaborate with us on this. And likewise, many events we used to organize. We used to call the school kids as well. They just to think about that they might have a few very good ideas. Okay, so what we normally used to follow these steps. We organize sensitization program, because there was someone has asked the question that how to start the incubation center in your institution, right? So you normally start with the sensitization program, the ideation program, pre-incubation program, and MHRD Innovation Institute Innovation Cell is there. So they are helping you out. So normally when someone is coming to you, and what they need basically, they need polishing of the ideas, right? So polishing of our ideas can be done during the pre-incubation period. We can call it as a nursery period. And also they need legal advices to open the company, and they need financial support, they need technical support, all the things you have to provide as incubation center. And of course you have to help them in prototype development, and then scaling up this product, right? The prototype for the market. So marketing networking is also very well needed. Okay, so this is the procedure basically normally we used to adopt. Okay, so what we have in our center, of course, a lot of things needed for a startup, and to get them in-house, right? A lot of facilities we have in our center for especially for the startups only. Okay, and various areas we are helping the people like IT and IT enabled products and services, agriculture and smart villages, health and sanitation, biotechnology, tourism, transport, education, real estate, small scale industries, developing the sensors, especially the air and water pollution, renewable energy sources, gaming products, right? Many things, and there are very success stories of so this very popular one is you must be knowing that one very important game you must have heard about, Choda Beam. It was developed by MacMocha, and this company was started by our own students when they were studying in the third semester. I was teaching them. These are the two guys basically, Arpita and Mohit. So they were my student, and I was teaching them systems analysis design. And during that assignment only, I asked them to develop a puppet punch show. So this was the first product they developed, and this was developed in about 13 languages, and a lot of downloads of this. They earned a lot through this. Then they developed Ludo, they developed Choda Beam, and now this company has been taken over by the Flipkart. And a lot of money they have earned out of this. So they sold out this company, and they have started a new company. Okay. Likewise, there are many others, right? In that queue, so this is a grass innovator, one grass innovator. So he developed a smart biotech chair, biotoilet chair, and this was another guy who developed the first time, the through fingerprint you can take out the money. And this was an architect. Not many companies are there we have developed, and I think with this I must thank the organizers once again for giving me this opportunity. And there are a few open areas we are ready to interact on, invite the people, they can collaborate with us, and we can nurture them in incubation center. Okay, and there is very important, because when we started we talked about innovation is the only key for the self-reliant India. So now that we need to answer this question, are we really marching towards self-reliant India and Atmanirbhar Bharat, I think we need to understand innovation very well, right? Until unless we don't understand, that's very, very difficult to talk about this. Many people have said about this, many words, like if you talk about the Mahatma Gandhi, he talked about the future depends on what you do today, and that gets reflected into tomorrow. And Kumar Mangalam Birla has also said somewhere in his speech, the golden rule I can think of is the fact that you must follow your passion and do something that's close to your heart. And I think if you just read out one of the slides I said, I took from the statement given by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, right? You have to feel that particular idea yourself. It is your idea, the belongingness and the confidence in yourself. And then only you can think of making yourself as a very good startup. Okay. Many other people from outside India have also said many things. I'll just quote few of them. I'll quote Steve Jobs when he said, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow know what you truly want to become. And Bill Gates has said, your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. So when I said the risk-taking capability one should have, that's very important. Learning from failures is very, very important. So your customers are unhappy, then you have to be very careful about that. Okay. So with this, once again, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to interact with you all. And I'm ready to answer the question. Let me see in chat box. I think few people have, yeah. So I think one question I have already answered. Let me take one by one.
So on behalf of organizers, sir, I would like to thank you very much, Professor Anurag Srivastva, sir, from Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Gwalior, and sir, for sparing your valuable time and interacting with the participants and giving lots of exposure of the several activities which are going to benefit the participants surely. So, sir, yeah, this one question which is already there, can we expect any positive relationship between Incubation Center for Research Technology? So,
of course, I have already opened few areas. If you are interested, you can write me. So in the first slide itself, you can Google me, Anurag Srivastva, IIITM Gwalior, right? You can find so many links. You can write to me directly. I'm very open to get collaborated with many institutions. I have many collaboration in India as well as in abroad. Currently, I'm working with 7 institutions in abroad, right? A lot of projects I'm working on. So I'm very open in different domains. We have the expertise available within the campus, or we can connect you with different other institutions. So there's no problem in that. Okay. And especially in incubation center, we are very open. If somebody has a very good idea, we can think of collaborating you people to our campus. There is no problem in that.
So participants, still you have chance. If you want to post your questions, please post it.
Let me see. I think I can see
please.
Question.
Okay, sir. Please.
One minute. Prasanjit has asked, sir, how to initiate an incubation center in an academic institution. Prasanjit, it's very simple. You have to simply write to the Ministry of IT for that, right? Ministry of IT has this program. So starting incubation center, you need not to write to the Ministry of IT basically, right? You need not to write to the Ministry of IT. But to get the funding for the incubation center, better you approach the Ministry of IT. This is one. Also, state government is pushing a lot of funding they are ready to invest, because to start an incubation center, your own institution may not be having that much money to invest in you, right? So what you can think of, getting collaborated with the state government, or even these days, I don't know, the Prasanjit, you are from where? If you are from metropolitan cities, I'm sure in your city there must be a smart city. If it is a smart city, smart cities have been given a lot of fund. Even, and I think in Gwalior, I remember it's 500 crores they have given. So it's a very huge amount they have given. And out of that, you can get some funding. You can start the incubation center. It's very simple. You registered yourself as a society. Starting, don't go with the private limited company. Remember, always start as a society, registered society, right? And then start incubation center. That's very, very, very simple. And slowly you can move on and approach to the state government and central government for providing the funding. So I think I have answered Prasenjit's question. If anything not specific, let me see many other questions. Anupama is asking, sir, can we expect any positive relationship between incubation center and research technology? Of course, these days, people are more interested in translating the research into a product and technology. So research-led startups are coming up in large. I know many startups in IIT Bombay, in IIT Kanpur, they were basically doing their research for the PhD programs, and out of that, what they have got the output. Even in, I remember Kumar University, one of my collaborators, Professor Nandgopal Sahu. So those students, they were working on, waste management. So they converted waste plastic and waste leaves, right, and waste stationery into a graphene and crude oil. So which was waste, actually waste has got converted into some kind of a wealth. So very good connection between the research incubation center and research technology, and of course we can collaborate. That's very important. And I think most of the people, they have said thank you, thank you, thank you. I couldn't find any other question. So if any other question from your side, I'm open to answer this question.
Yeah, so dear participants, if you have any further questions, you can always post it. Still time is there if you have any questions. And as sir had already told, no, that you can contact later on also over email also. And
very open. I'm very open, very open. You can visit. Yeah. So if not, not there's. Thank you so much.
I think okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, on behalf of the organizers, as Professor Bhartendu sir is having some meeting, so he is attending there. So on behalf of the HRDC, I would like to have grateful thanks to you, sir, for taking this lecture and giving a very wide variety of ideas of working, and the audience will certainly benefit to it. And as you have kindly agreed that they can contact you and they can have further interaction with you in this regard. So, sir, thank you once again, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.